Hello, everyone. This is Francois. I'm from AllData. I'm here today with Kelly, the coach, Kelly Bennett. Uh, I spoke with Kelly, not too long ago, and we were thinking of doing little videos on shop management. And instead of doing, like a big training, Kelly decided to do, take 10 minutes videos. So basically, like little 10 minutes short videos to teach you, like on all kinds of subject of shop management. So today we're gonna have more of a big picture of the shop management environment, if you want. So I'm gonna let Kitty start. So Kitty.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for asking me to do this. Warren Buffett's the guy that said, "The more you learn, the more you earn." And I think it's important that we continue to learn more things. But our world has changed over the years. This is my 35th year in business. I feel pretty old, but used to do workshops that were 2 days long, 5 days long, and now we're in a world where TikTok videos are huge and people like shorter things. So this is going to be a series of about 50 different topics over a 10-minute period, and then you can watch them at your leisure. To start off, I wanted to take a look at big picture, and then, of course, we'll get into more of the detail in the rest of the series. But I just want to show you some of the things that I think introduce this entire series. The first one is something I wrote some time ago, that running a successful repair shop is really quite simple. All you need to do is buy some parts and install them for more than what you paid for them. That's all there is to it, really, except for what? A few thousand details. And it's those details that can bog us down. My research shows that the average shop manager is interrupted 232 times a day. So when you get interrupted that much, how can you get things done? And the day starts, you've got your electronic, I should say, to-do list, or your paper one, or whatever. And you're so busy that day doing all these things. They call it the tyranny of the urgent. And at the end of the day, you look at your to-do list and nothing is ticked off except you. And then you think about the things that you did do and add them to the list, cross them off for the satisfaction. Bottom line is we need to prioritize. And I want to take a look at the big picture of running a business. And that is uh, there are 5 skills that you need to run a business and successful repair shops. So let's just take a look at those. And then in the following series, with all the 10-minute take 10s, we're going to go into these in a lot more detail. Basically, I'm taking all of this material that I've written and do it in bite sizes. I think that running a business is far more about a series of sprints than a great big long marathon. Because I've seen people that come to training and we're looking at all of this stuff. Maybe it's a 2-day class. They got a 2-inch binder. They head back to the shop. All the stuff's going to change. We're going to change the world. We're going to make changes around here. And then you put the binder on the shelf. 232 distractions a day happen. And at the end of the day, again, you realize, oh my gosh, we didn't make that change that we are going to. I believe that it's better to make a couple of changes and do it all the way than a whole bunch of things halfway. And I've seen where employees will see an owner, go off to a workshop, a 2-day workshop or 3, or management group or whatever, and maybe they're glad you're gone or maybe they're not, but you come back and they're not happy because you're going to want to change everything. And they go, yeah, how long are we going to do this for? And I've heard this many times. Yeah, it was important for a couple of days and then that wasn't important and they changed it. So what's really important is that you choose the things that you're going to do carefully and do those things all of the way before trying something else at the same time. So it's better to learn one thing and then implement it maybe over a week or 2 weeks. They say it takes 30 days to break an old habit and form a new one. I asked in a workshop one time, how long does it take to break an old habit and form a new one? And this lady said, too damn long. And I thought that's really a good way of putting it. And so let's take a look at the 5 skills required to run a business. First of all is industry specific skills. Most people in our industry, not all, but most, and I've talked to Francois about this. He's been in this industry for a long time, and he's done things like he's doing now, selling ALLDATA. He's sold shop management software. And so he has a unique um, way of looking at this industry, because he will get into, I don't know, 2, 5, 10 shops a year. I can't even imagine how many kilometers a year you drive. But what a neat perspective. When I go to a shop, I'm usually there for a full day to do it on site. But when you're in your business, you get a chance to go in and see things really quickly. Years ago, I asked a part store owner in York, Pennsylvania. He owned 7 parts stores. And I said, next time I come, I want to take an extra day and I'm going to go on your parts truck and get in and out as many shops as I can in a day. And I don't know how many that would have been, maybe 15 or 20, I don't know. But it was a neat perspective from going to see a full shop for a full day and just going in quickly and seeing this. And so that perspective is different. But most people that you and I have talked with, Francois, they started as a technician, they started their own shop because they wanted to work for themselves, and they decided that they're going to do that. They open up the building, and usually they start off as the technician, the mechanic, or whatever you want to call it. I prefer the word technician. And it's hard to get out of that because that's what you do and you do it well. But here you are trying to do all of these other things at the same time. The second skill that you need to run a successful repair shop is day-to-day management, the ability to manage that business. And there's so many things that you need to manage. In a large corporation, they have a marketing department, a sales department, an HR department. They have all of these departments that run the corporation. But when you work for yourself, especially when you first start, you're wearing all of those hats. You do the financial, you do the marketing, you do all of this. And you have to be able to do it and do it well and make sure things run smoothly, that the shops, open on time and everybody's there and the work is there and the parts are ordered and all those things. And so it's difficult to do the day-to-day management, I think, especially because we're interrupted 232 times a day. One thing I'd like you to just bear in mind as we go through this is I'd like you to rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in each of these areas. You can write it down or just do it mentally, whatever. But industry-specific skills is your ability to diagnose and repair today's automobiles, the ability to do all of that. And how would you rank yourself based on your experience, based on your knowledge? Francois, you went to technical college and you learned how to repair cars. You've got that experience. One of the challenges, though, that I've seen is people who've been in the business longer and longer and longer, and now they start to be more of a manager or whatever it is, they kind of lose that skill because they don't do it as much. So that tends to happen. So what I'd like you to do is rank yourself here honestly, just be honest to yourself based on where you're at today. Maybe things have gone ahead technically above. That's fine because you hire people to do that. So the day-to-day management, sometimes the problem with that is you spend so much time in your base. And I'm going to be doing a series on what I call the evolution of the shop owner. That's going to be one of the top 10 series. The third is the financial management, the whole financial part of the business. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was in school, I hated math. And I remember one time I'm in school and Mrs. LeMay says to me, Kelly, you're not paying attention. And I said, Mrs. LeMay, I hate math. And she said, look here, young man. We always remember the one with the bun and the finger. She said, look here, young man, 98% of the jobs out there need math. I said, fine, I'll get one of the 22% that doesn't. Anyway, the point is that most people don't like math. It's something that some people are really good at, but they're not so much good at the other things. So the question is, how good are you at the financial part of the business? The income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow statement. What is your labor to parts ratio? What is your effective labor rate? I have a spreadsheet that I use. It's called SAP, Service Advisor Performance Factors, and it has 67 lines of data. We enter the data and it does all of these calculations. And that may look like overkill, but I think everybody needs to be able to see that data. I've used many of those kinds of composites, we call it, over the 35 years. The reason I like the one I use now is because it shows trending. So you see January, February, March, and how many new customers for each of that, and what was your labor rate during that, and how many technicians and how many hours, and the effective labor rate, which I mentioned because I think it's the most important calculation. The third is the marketing and the advertising. Now, years ago when I taught marketing and advertising, it was pretty simple. How to do a yellow page ad, how to send flyers to people's houses. That's all changed. Now it's social media and, of course, word of mouth. Marketing is the most complex part of business because it changes and it changes and it changes. And then the third is the leadership and the team building, the ability to manage that business, to be a good leader to your staff, that you bring them all together. So bottom line is there are skills that you need to run a successful repair shop. Industry-specific skills, diagnosing, repairing today's cars. How good are you at that? Secondly is the day-to-day management on the scale of 1 to 10. Everything you can think of that happens throughout the day, managing everything, managing people, managing money, managing customers, managing parts, managing. the few thousand details that I mentioned earlier, the financial management, how would you rank your skills on a scale of 1 to 10 there, marketing and advertising there, and leadership and team building. The idea is not to become an expert at all 5 of these. I don't know anybody who's an expert at all 5. I've got some, I look at this and I know where mine are. It's not about being an expert at all of them. It's sticking to what you do and do it well. And then you farm out everything to other people who then do that well. So I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you. It's hard to cover this in 5 minutes, but we were able to do it. Francois.
Perfect. Thank you, Kelly. Very good information, and we're looking forward, to show you, the other Take 10 series video. Hope you're gonna enjoy it, and make sure you subscribe, on the channel to receive, all the other ones, or to be notified. You can activate notifications as soon as they're gonna be out. You're gonna be notified, and you can comment the video too. It's always good to have your feedback on it. So thank you very much, Kelly, for your time. And
thank you. And just
we'll
so
see
you know, the
soon.
people that are
Yeah.
from the United States, I don't know if you've noticed at all, but Francois has a bit of an accent. He's from Montreal, Quebec, one of the most beautiful cities in the country and an amazing language. But just to let you know, the reason there's a dive board, and that's actually me diving in, the idea when we get into these Take 10 videos is to dive in right away. Anyway, thank you, Francois. Until next time, take care.
Thank you.